Welcome to another edition of the Hellraiser Blog with Mickey Helliott. Mickey, you have a show on Saturday. Tell us a little bit about it, because I know that Larry Ekundayo has had to pull out from a hand injury, and getting a replacement has proved difficult.
Yeah, we do have a show on Saturday. As per usual, total chaos. Larry hurt his hand in his last fight, looked like it had recovered. Then he started having problems with it. We kept an eye on it and then decided the only thing we could do is pull him out, unfortunately. We'd already contracted this guy, Siar Ozgul, to defend his African title against him, his ABU title. Larry would be absolutely devastated that he's missed the opportunity to box on London Live as well, and it was also been broadcast in Nigeria. So he's missed out in his home country. He's missed out. He'll be heartbroken with that. Siar Ozgul, who hadn't boxed for about a year, was inactive because he had problems getting a licence, British licence, now has his licence, had his first fight last week on my Mayfair Sporting Club show at Park Inn Hotel in Mayfair. Straight away he was like, I'm having that fight. It's a risky fight. Look, how I look at it, I try and build my guys on my shows, get their records up, and then we go to either Matchroom or Frank Warren or Hennessy or whoever gives us the best deal. That's where we go. But I package them, I prepare those guys and bring them along to the point where they can go and do that. But Darren Williams is boxing next Thursday on Frank Warren's show, you'll call, on Box Nation. He came through that system, got a very, very good deal offered from Frank Warren. We went with it. He now moves on to that, and that's what all these guys really are sort of aiming to do, I think. Siar, if you look at the sacrifices that he's made, any boxer makes sacrifices, but he's left his home country, Turkey, didn't speak hardly any English when he arrived here. Now he actually speaks okay. He's got an English-speaking girlfriend, that probably helps a little bit. But he made it very clear to me, I haven't come here to fight endless amounts of journeymen. I've come here, I've made this big decision to leave all my family, all my friends, all my loved ones at home, come to a different country, him and his brother, and he's the first in the gym every day and the last out. He works and works and works. And look, we're taking a risk. He's moving up from light welter to welter, which we did with Senior Byfield recently. He moved up from welter to light middle, and he got pipped by a point, and we were gutted for that. And we're taking a risk again here. But this is boxing, this is the way our business works. It is chaotic. No matter how well organised, here we had everything set. In fact, had two top of the bills. Both fell through. We've managed to get this fight together. We're taking a risk, but I do believe Siar will win it.
Siar, like you said, Siar only fought last week, and he bit your hand off to take part in this fight. Was there any worry from his team, from your side of it, from his side of it? Maybe trainer Barry Smith's side of it?
We were concerned about it because we had to weigh up the risk. He was prepared. He was meant to fight on this show, so it's not like he wasn't fit. We said that you'll box twice in this period of 10 days. You box on the Mayfair Sporting Club, and you'll fight on the Hellraiser show. He was meant to do a 6-rounder. He's jumped from 6 to 10. That's a risk in itself. This other guy's done 10 rounders. Siar's actually done a 10-rounder before, so he realises how much work that is, how hard it is physically, how challenging it is. But he's jumped at it, and really that's what I want. Guys that are hungry, that his self-belief is enormous. I actually believe in him myself. I can see the ability that he's got. Ideally, I would like to hold him back just a little bit because he's had a year out. He's just had one fight. Now he's going straight in, top of the bill in a 10-rounder against a guy who's been preparing for 3 months for the fight. But I've seen this guy box before. I thought Larry would beat him, and I think Siar, even though he's stepping up a weight, I think Siar will beat him as well. I've seen some of the sparring sessions that Siar's had, and every question mark you can have over him, he always answers it in a good way, very positive, really, sort of a good attitude. And for me as a promoter, that's what I want. I want guys like that taking that chance, and I think it will pay dividends for him. I think from this, we then go and he's done really well with his tickets. His attitude in the gym is second to none. He came here in the first place saying when you get that call, I don't want you to sort of think, oh, I can't. He goes, I just want to go in. I just want to go and fight the best guys. If I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. Because I'm telling you, I am good enough, and I will fight any of them, and I will beat any of them. And for us to have that on our show, that's a big plus, because he's bringing to the table exactly what people want to see. They want to see boxers that wear their heart on their sleeve, that get stuck in, that aren't afraid to roll the dice when the opportunity comes. And he epitomises that, and that's what we want. That's what Hellraiser's always been about. Look, we traditionally haven't had TV deals. We survived for a long time with no TV. Bearing that in mind, people have to want to come and part with their money to buy tickets, otherwise our business doesn't work, never could have worked. Even with the TV now, we still need ticket sales to make it work financially. So we have to make good fights. We have to make 50-50s or 45-65s, 35s. I don't think this is a 50-50. Having watched them both, and seeing Siar in with good class people, and how he hasn't panicked, he hasn't fallen apart, he hasn't always had it his way, but you can work with someone like that, someone that shows that promise, that seems to sort of understand what's going on and isn't sort of out of their depth. That's someone that's got the ability to progress and to grow. And one thing I will say about him, he spars and he makes a mistake or a couple of mistakes, or does the same thing over and over. You speak to him about it once, that's it. You know, he moves on from that. He learns, he goes home thinking about it, he comes back the next day and says, oh, when he does it this time, I'm going to do... And as a boxing person, forget the business, just as a boxing person, I know fighters like that, that's really good quality. That's sort of like top level, that's elite level guys that work like that. You know, the ones that really listen and digest everything you say to them and put it into action very quickly afterwards. And he does that, so I'm very excited about him. And I think if I had to roll the dice with anyone right now, I think I'd choose him. You know, he's the one that really is on form, boxed very well on Mayfair Sporting Club show. Now we're going to see him in a tough fight, but he's a tough guy, and I believe that he'll come out with a win. And the Turkish, I mean, I've got a restaurant in West Green Road in Tottenham, and the Turkish community are absolutely buzzing about this guy. I mean, you're going to see an ocean of Turkish flags. Now, I mean, I know the people that are coming. He boxed with Fenerbahce, which is a big football team in Turkey, and they have a boxing club it's like a sporting club, and Fenerbahce are mad passionate, anything to do with Fenerbahce, and he's got this huge following. One of the Fenerbahce sponsors actually sponsors him, and that's going to be good as well. The atmosphere, I think that will create. I'm looking forward to it.
Tell me a little bit more about the show in its entirety. Who else have you got fighting on it? What other great matchups can we look forward to watching?
Okay, so we've got Philip Bowes, who is just signing up with us. He's had about a dozen fights. He dropped a couple of very close decisions in title fights. Maybe those title fights came too early for him, possibly. Just a touch too early. He wasn't far off, but he was boxing good class guys, opponents, and I think if maybe he'd have had a little bit more seasoning before he was pushed into those kind of fights, maybe we'd have had a better chance of him getting a win. That was before I was involved with him. To me, he made it clear, you know, that some guys, they want to be raced through. Some people, it's all about money. Philip made it very clear to me. I asked these things because then if I'm going to make decisions, I have to know, I have to arm myself with what this person wants. And he wants to do it properly. You know, he wants to build up slowly. He wants to get title fights with notice in the conditions that he likes. He's not sort of grasping for money. He's not sort of desperate to fight for titles right now. He just wants to be brought along, and you know, he tells me that. I've got to take it into account. Okay, that's what we've got to deliver for this guy. I think British title fight for him eventually. That's got to be our aim. But in the meantime, let's get him a southern area under the right circumstances. You know, I don't want him going as the away fighter, or where he's selling lots of tickets to pay the other guy. If he was desperate to progress right away, we might have to accept that. But he's not. He wants to be built. He wants to improve and progress, and he is progressing. And there's more things that we can progress with. But I think for me, he's sort of a guy that easy to be motivated to work for him. Siar as well. You know, a lot of the guys in here, they become almost part of like an extended family that you've got. If I spend a few days away and I come back, I sort of feel like I'm with my boys again. So we're going to see Philip's got a tough fight. He's got a guy, James Gorman, who is like a pressure fighter, loses more than he wins, but he's a good test. And because we know Gorman, we've been working on lots of things with Philip, and we'll see how he puts it into practice on the night. You've got Aaron Morgan, who he's fighting a decent kid from Hungary. Aaron's ready for titles this year. We'll put him in that frame somewhere. He's sort of been verging on that for a while, and now it's time for him to step up. So that won't be long. In general, you're going to have a good night. You're going to see lots of these prospects, and it's nice to see now we've got a system in place where they can come almost as a seed, grow into like a little shoot, into a sort of
plant,
eventually a plant, and then eventually become like an oak tree. And nice seeing them flourish, moving along. Like I say, you've got Darryl Williams going to box on Box Nation.
He's kind of set the tone for everybody else of what can happen.
Yeah, that's what we want to do now, is bring these guys along, and now we've got the London Live, which is going to give invaluable exposure to all these fighters. You know what, from the point of view of them raising their profiles, attracting sponsorship, getting the recognition when they perform well, that's perfect for that. It's a free-to-air channel, so we're going to see them move along, and we can also watch them progress now from that early stage all the way through, and then when they're ready for Matchroom, the Channel 5, Box Nation, and my position in boxing, I always say I'm a manager more than a promoter. So when they're ready, I'm not like, oh no, you've got to fight on Hellraiser shows. You can't go the opposite. As soon as they are ready, not as soon as whoever wants them, as soon as we feel that they're ready to take that step, then that's when we go and do it. And it's good because it means they can do it under the right conditions rather than being plunged in or coerced in. A lot of guys, you see them, they lay the foundations of the house really well. You think we'll carry on that, but once they get a tiny bit of attention from a big promoter, suddenly they'll completely change their entire methods of doing things at that moment, and it all goes to pot. And I'll give you a list of boxers as long as my arm. But now we have that system in place where we can just sort of very gently bring them along at their own pace that's right for them, and it's all in-house. We've got them from Hellraiser on the London Live, great for London Live, great for the fighters on the Hellraiser shows, and then they can progress from that onto Sky Sports, onto Channel 5, onto...
So Saturday, what time does boxing start?
Saturday, boxing at York Hall starts at 4, and the main event, Siar Ozgul against Saidi Mundi, that's a proper fight. That's a really good top fight.
And can we buy tickets on the door?
You can buy tickets on the door, yeah, as always, yeah. I mean, we have a system where we put ticket sellers on early, so it means that we can some of those guys leave and new ones arrive. It's a long show, it starts at 4, finishes at 11, so there's plenty of time for, you can buy tickets on the door.
Awesome. Mickey, thank you very much for chatting to us, and we'll speak to you again soon.